How much did them cost?
Right, so we're on the record in docket 22-03192. People of the state of Michigan versus Courtney O'Reilly. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Mr. Abbott.
Good morning, Your Honor. John Abbott with the Public Defender's Office representing Ms. O'Reilly today. She's not present.
All right, this is the time set for a competency review. Ms. Wilson, how we proceed?
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe defense counsel and I are stipulating to the competency report.
That's correct, Your Honor. I have no objection to the admission of the report dated January 16th.
All right, so the and you're waiving the appearance of Mr. O'Reilly today?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that is the report from the Center for Forensic Science dated, I have it dated January 23rd. Is that the newest one?
Oh, it might be, but that's a week later than I got mine on the 6th. I received it on the 19th. It was dated the 16th.
Let's make sure we have, I have mine. Is that done by, she might have done, I have mine January 23rd, done by Glenn Toplin.
I have one January 16th by Rebecca Liston.
Mine is also January 16th.
Maybe I have the wrong one. Hold on. Here we go. January 16th. I have two in there. One from a year ago. So that was 2023. So this is Rebecca Liston, January 16th, 2024.
Okay.
That's the one we're talking about. All right. So and Ms. Wilson, you also would step to that report as being, so I am to find Ms. O'Reilly incompetent
This time, yes.
at this time, and that would give us, I think, a few more months.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm in possession of the order 22-03192 concerning Courtney O'Reilly, state of Michigan, for this case. I'm gonna, box 2 would be checked. The defendant is incompetent to stand trial but restorable. There's substantial probability that the defendant, if provided a course of treatment, will attain competence to stand trial within the time limited established by law. The defendant shall undergo treatment to render the defendant competent to stand trial, which she's been doing, if I'm correct.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. And she's under the care of community mental health.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, so I'll sign that document. 126. 126. Signed order. That would put us 13, 14, we're 15 months, so May, March, April, May. I think I signed it on the 15th prior. Let's double check that. I have competency order signed on February 2nd, 2023. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're about
That would be
February, March, April, May,
May-ish. Yeah.
May-ish, okay.
Your Honor, I have on my schedule that we've already scheduled a review for April 18th.
Perfect.
Oh, okay.
On
Yeah,
Should we do one?
9 o'clock.
let's do, May is the date that we're thinking of 15 months.
Yes.
I think the April date should suffice for
Okay.
us.
Right.
Right now. So April 18th, 2024 for next review. And then, Ms. Wilson, this is kind of fall in your lap, this
Yeah.
case, but the office is going to have to decide what
Yeah.
we're doing with this case. Because if we don't have an answer, or Ms. O'Reilly's not found competent at that time, then the
Yeah.
statute would have us either file a PRT I think that's or dismiss.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. Anything else for the record in docket 22-03-192? Ms. Wilson,
I think from the people you're.
Mr. Abbott.
Nothing, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
I'm ready on Hood, Judge. If
All
you
right.
are.
Sure. All right, so we're on the record in docket 24-00-125. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Michael Keaton Michael Hood. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Erin Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Hood.
And sir, you are Keaton Michael Hood, is that correct? All right, thank you. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. I'm sorry, for a probable cause conference in the matter. Ms. Wilson, how we proceed?
I believe the defendant will be waiving his right to a preliminary exam, and if that's the case, the people also unconditionally waive their right.
All right, and Ms. Robinson, is that your understanding of what we're doing here today?
It is.
And this is an unconditional waiver with negotiations to continue?
It is.
All right. Ms. Robinson, may I inquire of Mr. Hood of his waiver of the prelim?
You may.
Mr. Wood, you understand you have a right to a preliminary examination today. A preliminary examination is a probable cause hearing in which the people would have to prove by probable cause evidence that a crime has been committed and the identity of the person who committed that crime. You are represented by attorney Erin Robinson today, and she would be present to cross-examine any witnesses or contest any charges brought against you by the people of the state of Michigan. Do you understand that? To my understanding, it is your wish today to waive your right to a preliminary examination, have this case continue on to circuit court where negotiations will continue. All right. I find the waiver of the preliminary examination to be knowing, voluntarily, and accurately made. The people have indicated they also waive their right to a prelim.
Correct, Your Honor, unconditionally.
And I will have the prelim signed, the waiver of the prelim signed by the parties. All right, I'm in possession of the bind over for the for Mr. Keaton. I'm going to sign the document to that effect. Mr. Keaton, your time in district court is done. You'll get your next notice from your attorney, Erin Robinson, in circuit court. All right, sir? You're all set. Thank you.
Judge, I would like to address bond briefly.
You may.
Currently, he is on a GPS tether with a PR bond, but I would request that the GPS tether be removed at this time. It's causing an undue financial burden for Mr. Hood. He does work full time. He has no previous record. He lives with his manager as well, who's also present in the courtroom with him to ensure that he will be in court for all future court hearings. This is not a crime that alleges any sort of violence, so I would request that the tether be removed at this time.
Miss Wilson.
I would leave it to your discussion or discretion.
Do you have any prior criminal history concerning Mr. Hood? I don't have a.
I don't recall seeing one. I suspect the tether was because at the time he was picked up, he had been sworn out for failure to appear for a traffic ticket.
Okay. So print me up to CCH. Let me take a look at the prior criminal history. That's it. And then it's a PR, what's it set, right? Oh, the GPSs.
It's a
Said
PR bond with the
bond with
GPS.
the
Yeah.
GPS. Let me see what the criminal history looks like.
Can they see that you're on already?
A different printer. That's,
C2 traffic violations.
well, that was not helpful. But the well, we have right now is the traffic violations of the prosecution.
That's all I see. There are a list of bench warrants, but they all appear to be for people that have similar names and similar birth dates.
Okay,
So I
all
don't
right.
think it's necessarily the defendant.
Right, I don't see anything. I certainly didn't see. This was set at 2,000 PR with, and the GPS was probably because there was an outstanding, I would imagine, with no assaultive priors. I think that's a fair request, and so I'll modify the bond to remove the GPS at this time.
Honestly, I come on here real quick.
Mr. Darian, you're whoever's James or Motor, you're in the courtroom, so you might want to mute yourself. So I'll modify to remove the GPS. So, Mr. Hood, you're still under the order of no firearms in your possession, all right? But we'll email the GPS, and so you'll have to go to that entity to get it removed, okay? All right. Anything else for the record in 24000125, Ms. Wilson?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hood. You're all set.
Appreciate you, man.
So you can just head up to James.
Let me find out who's on Zoom.
If Mr. Marr's on Zoom, Mr. Palmer might want to meet with him prior.
Should be brought over.
Oh, is he brought over?
All right.
Not here yet.
So who's James? Is that Jamone?
Should be
Jamone Walker,
James P.
James Peden.
Edden.
All
I
right.
believe it's Mr. Feigelson.
All right. So, sir, if you're James Peden, we're waiting for your attorney. That's Mr. Feigelson. Would the individual on the Motorola please identify yourself? Yes, you, sir. Could you please unmute yourself and identify yourself?
Jalen Davis.
All right, Mr. Davis,
Also Mr. Figles.
you're also Mr. Feigelson, so we're awaiting your attorney. Please stand by. You're in the right courtroom.
Okay.
And then Mr. Ray, Darian Ray, who is your attorney today?
Doesn't have. I haven't gotten appearance from him.
I don't have one yet. I was trying to see if I could request more time to get one.
All right. All right, so let's call that case.
Okay.
He was denied by the public defender's office judge,
What, on what date?
116.
All right, we're gonna call your case, Mr. Ray. That's docket 24-00104. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Darian Ray. Will the parties please introduce themselves to the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
And sir, you are Darian Ray, is that correct?
Correct.
Is that correct, sir?
Correct. Yes, sir.
And you are unrepresented by counsel at today's PCC, is that correct?
Correct.
And you were denied by the public defender's office on January 16th, is that correct?
Yeah, I tried to reapply by calling 3 lawyers, but I guess they denied me again. Yeah.
No, when you called 3 lawyers, did you call 3 lawyers at the public defender's office, or did you call 3 lawyers on your own?
On my own, they told me to try to
All right,
find a
so
quote.
you've actually sought retained counsel and they were not able to take your case at this point, is that correct?
Right. Correct. Yeah.
All right. So what is your plan for getting a lawyer by next week? Because your preliminary examination is scheduled for, excuse me, knew that was coming. February 2nd at 8:30. What is your plan for getting an attorney by that date?
To be I'm trying to find one right now and pay for one for the case. So that's
So
why I
you're-
was wondering.
Well, you have a week to find somebody to appear, or at least to find somebody on your behalf to say that they're in the matter of. We're not gonna waive any rights today because you have a 21-day rule right. So I would think at this time we'd leave it on for next week. So Mr. Ray, you have till February 2nd to find a lawyer or have a lawyer indicate that you're in the process of representing you. Until next week, you're set for February 2nd, 2024 at 8:30. You should not go to prelim without an attorney. Since you've been denied by the public defender's office, you have to make some more phone calls.
All right.
All right. All right. So I'm going to leave this set on for February 2nd, 2024 at 8:30 for prelim. Mr. Ray, you're to be seeking an attorney for that date, or at least some indication that counsel is going to file an appearance.
Okay.
That will be live on February 2nd, 2024. That'll be live in person on the 6th floor of City Hall building, okay?
All right.
All right. Anything else for the record in 24-00104? Ms. Wilson.
Other than the people, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Ray, good luck. We'll see you on February 2nd at 8:30.
Okay. Thanks.
So you just joined the Zoom courtroom. Can you identify yourself on the Motorola Moto G Play?
Justin Mauer.
Just Mr. Mauer.
So he's out.
Yeah,
All right. So
I
Mr.
apologize.
Mauer,
I didn't realize.
you're not incarcerated at this time?
No, I just got out Tuesday night.
All right. We'll tell your lawyer. I think we're waiting for you to be brought over on a writ. And so we'll get a hold of Mr. Palmer's, your lawyer, and we'll go from there. You might have to meet with him in a breakout room, okay?
All right.
All right. Stand by, Mr.
Yep.
Marr. You're in the right place.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Never done that, you know what I mean? Yeah. I gotta give you one of these. The actual nicotine is? Yeah. Dude, I just called him and in person, but that used to work over at the Never Plant. Oh yeah, I know where's that. Pretty sure Bridgewater, it's either 6 or 7 days a week.
All right. So Mr. Palmer, your client's here. Do you want to meet with Mr. Marr?
I do.
So we're on the record. So Mr. Marr, once your attorney joins the room, we'll place you in a breakout room with them. All right.
Yes, sir.
Right, I just spoke to him. Mr. Davis, we're gonna call your case for the record. And Mr. Peden, once Mr. Feigelson is done with Mr. Davis's case, he'll meet with you in a breakout room also, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna call Mr. Davis's case. We're on the record in 24-00122. That is the people of the state of Michigan versus Jalen Davis. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson,
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Mr. Feigelson.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Stephen Feigels on behalf of Jalen Davis. I think he's here, but I don't know if I see him on the screen yet.
No, he's here via, there he is. And sir, you'll have to unmute. You are Jalen Davis, is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, and you can hear me all right, Mr. Davis?
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir. This is the time set for a preliminary probable cause hearing. Ms. Wilson, how are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe we were leaving this set for the preliminary exam date.
Your Honor, that's accurate. We do wish to leave this matter on, but I think the one issue that I think needs to be addressed is with regards to his tether. I think there was a notice that I received, but I was aware of that from Mr. Davis. I think the issue is the court ordered GPS tether for Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis is indigent, and I believe he needed to get some paperwork over to them to prove that. And I think he's having some difficulty getting that paperwork over to JSG. So I think that's where the holdup is, Your Honor. I'd ask for two things here today. Either, we can order him indigent so that they could pay for the tether, or I'd ask that the tether not be removed as a condition. This case is, albeit a current case, that these folks do not have significant contact, and I don't necessarily know if tethers that's warranted in this file.
Well, it starts out of a GBH and a domestic as to Sapphire Fant, and so this is ZPS zone. This was set by Judge Buchanan. I have on January 17th in regards, a pretrial release order was issued, which included the specific term and condition of bond GPS tether ordered. On January 24th, there was a GSG monitoring advising the defendant tether was shut off due to non-payment. And so you're indicating that your client, and has he been able to provide any documentation indicating that he's indigent in the matter?
No, he's having difficulty acquiring that. He's not from here, and he has limited transportation. I think all his paperwork's out in Eaton County, and it's been difficult for him to get that paperwork and then get it to JSG, Your Honor. I do believe he's indigent and he qualified for services of our office.
Yeah, he qualified for the services of your office. All right. Well, at this time, I'm going to indicate that the defendant who did qualify for public defender status, defender representation, is indigent and would qualify for indigency status. Mr. Davis, this would indicate that you'll be able to pay for GPS through resources. However, if you receive any documentation concerning indigency, you should make it available to them, okay?
Yes.
All right, but at this point in time, so you're still on GPS, or are they taking that off? It's just been shut off, is that correct?
Yeah, they
I
have.
think they took it from yesterday.
Yeah.
So just see what they say. Yeah, see what they say. They may not accept my order of indigency because they're state funded, and then they need documentation. So you need to provide them with some documentation, but they might not accept. You've qualified for public defender, and I know there's an application process for that. But they may or may not. But you need to recontact them and explain to them the situation. They may still want documentation, which means that you would be in violation of the tether until we come back, but we can address that next week, I think.
Yeah.
In order, I will just indicate that I know that there is My Bridges and they have documentation uploaded on that app. And
Okay.
then also I know from my previous employment that if you call MDHHS, they can send you a letter.
All right. So Mr. Davis, if you call MDHHS, they should be able to send you some documentation, or you can pick up some documentation concerning your indigency. That might be required. My order of indigency may do no help there. Okay.
Okay.
All
I
right.
do have a paper like from like the when you on food stamps they mail you like with your caseworker and your name and stuff all on there and like what's the mail about. I do have that, but I just don't know if that's the benefit summary that they want.
You might want to show it to them to see if that works. What's the date on that?
It's a recent date. They just actually just send me another mail.
Right. You might want to show them that. You might want to show the GPS tether company that documentation.
All
I
right.
think that from what he's describing, it might work.
Yeah. That might be the documentation they need in order to find you indigent and be able to plate you and to put you on the resources available for the GPS.
Okay.
All right. All right. So anything else on the record? 24-00122, Ms. Wilson.
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Mr. Fikes.
Nothing else. Mr. Davis, you'll need to be here in person next week.
Yeah, you'll be that'll be a live hearing next week on February 2nd. So you're all set, Mr. Davis. We'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you.
I'm gonna go log on to Zoom so I can meet with Mr.
All right. Nathaniel will place you in a room with them.
Once I get logged in. Thanks, Jeff.
Oh.
Sir, on the iPhone you just joined, would you please identify yourself?
Aaron Austin.
Okay, Mr. Austin, you're here for your 9:30.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Feigelson, your attorney is in a breakout room with another client. So stand by, and when the Attorney General gets here, we can call your case. And Mr. Silverthorne, you're here on Mr. Walker.
That's correct, Your Honor. I apologize, but I got delayed, Judge Ward.
No worries. And Mr. Walker is joining us by Zoom.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, we'll wait for his appearance.
He's
He's
Oh,
there,
there
Your
he
Honor.
is. There he is. He's on Polycom. All right. Let's go ahead and call that case since we have everyone here. All right, so we're on the record in docket 23-03607. That is People of the State of Michigan versus Jamone Walker. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Mr. Silverthorne.
Good morning, Your Honor. Dwayne Silverthorne on behalf of Jamone Walker, who I see as
And sir, you are, thank you. And sir, you are Jamone Walker, is that correct?
Yes, I am.
All right. Jamone Walker, and you can hear me all right, Mr. Walker?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
All right, thank you. This is a time set for a probable cause conference. Ms. Wilson, how are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe we will be leaving this up for a preliminary exam date.
Okay, we will. And is that a fair statement, Mr. Silverthorne?
It is, Your Honor.
So we'll leave on for preliminary examination on February 2nd, 2024 at 8:30. Mr. Walker, that'll be a live hearing, so they'll bring you over live for that hearing. Said we're leaving the prelim on for February 2nd, 2024 at 8:30. Anything else for the record in 23-03607, Ms. Wilson?
Yes, Your Honor. So Mr. Walker, this case involves a victim that he also has no contact order on probation out of 30th Circuit. I've reviewed the jail calls. The first call he made when he was incarcerated was to the victim in that case and in this case. And the numbers have changed since he was arraigned on this case, but I have reason to believe that he is still calling her. So, with all this going on, he's now got, I think, 4 cases with this victim. He's calling her, even though there's a no contact order already. I would request that his phone privileges be revoked to preserve the integrity of this case and prevent any more witness interference.
Mr. Silverthorne, your response?
I did get information from Ms. Wilson as to that effect. However, I didn't get it in time to discuss it with Mr. Walker, who actually I saw just a couple days ago, to discuss this. I would ask that Mr. Walker at this moment be sternly advised to not make calls, and then the court reserve its decision, because we're gonna be back in just a week. Reserve its decision until then, until I have a chance to review the calls and review the information with Mr. Walker. And I believe if the court is stern with Mr. Walker and he hears you say, do not call, I'm betting that he will abide by that, and then we can sort it out in a week.
I mean, he was arraigned on a probation violation when he was picked up on this case in front of Judge Aquilina. I'm guessing she told him not to have contact with the victim then. He continued to do so. So I don't think a stern warning is going to be sufficient here.
Well, we have a week and we can redress this in a week, but for the following week, all phone privileges are revoked except for anything that has to do with, of course, with his attorney. But all phone privileges are revoked. That would make this a clean hearing if we have it for Thursday. So all phone privileges are revoked except for attorney. And then we can revisit this issue on February 2nd, 24 at 8:30 next Thursday, once we come to prelim concerning this matter. But that keeps it clean. I know he can't reach out concerning the victim week before, and I'm assuming she's been subpoenaed for this.
She has. She hasn't been in contact with her office,
Right.
and I suspect there might be some reason why.
All right,
But
Mr. Silverthorne, you wanted to make a record here.
No, Your Honor, I just advise Mr. Walker that I will be out to see him, and we'll discuss that along with the matters that are set for next week.
All right, Mr. Walker, you understand that your phone privileges are going to be revoked, and Mr. Silverthorne is going to be out to talk to you concerning this matter. This has been left on for February 2nd, 2024 at 8:30. You understand that, sir?
Yeah.
All right, anything else for the record in 23-03607, Ms. Wilson?
nothing for this case, Your Honor.
Mr. Silverthorne.
Nothing for the defendant at this time, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everybody, for your appearance today. We'll see you next week.
I believe he has another matter
Oh,
as
does he?
well if we want to set. I believe that one's also going to be a prelim.
So I've got Walker. I only have one file.
Oh, he's got a home invasion and a carjacking. And that one's 23-03443.
I got the file, but I don't have anything on. Oh, here it is. So then we have 23-03443. Is that what you just said?
Yes.
All right. And we're on the record on PCC for docket 23-04343. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Jamone Walker. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Mr. Silverthorne.
Wayne Silverthorne from the Office of Public Defender, Jamone Walker, who continues to be at the Hingham County Jail.
And sir, you are Jamone Walker, is that correct once again?
Yes, I am.
All right, you can hear me all right, Mr. Walker?
Yes.
All right, this is the time set for a companion or another file concerning Mr. Walker for probable cause conference. Ms. Wilson, how we proceed?
Same thing, Your Honor. Leave set for preliminary exam.
Mr. Silverthorne, is that your understanding also?
Yes, Your Honor, and as to his bond and no contact, I'll rest on my argument in the earlier file.
All right, I'll leave this on for preliminary examination on February 2nd at 8:30. Phone privilege, we have a similar no contact situation here. So phone privileges are revoked on this file also, except in regards to the attorney. And Mr. Walker, Mr. Silverthorne will be out to see you concerning this matter in the next week. Is that correct, Mr. Silverthorne?
That's correct. And I think I did want to add something to the record. I'm resting on my earlier argument because the alleged victim
Right.
is the same in the new file.
Correct. All right. Thank you, Mr. Silverthorne. The response to the assistant prosecutor's motion for revocation of privilege is noted. I'm going to revoke privileges at this time, and we'll revisit the issue on February 2nd, 2024 at 8:30. Anything else for the record in 23-03-443, Ms. Wilson?
Nothing for the people, Your Honor.
Mr. Silverthorne.
Nothing for the defendant, Your Honor.
All right, we'll see you next week at this time. Thank you, everybody, for your appearance today. You're all set, Mr. Walker.
Good day, Your Honor. Have a
Mr.
good
Palmer,
weekend.
you too, Mr. Silverthorne. Thank you. Mr. Palmer, were you ready on Mr. Mauer?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, so we're on the record in docket 23-03-495. That is People of the State of Michigan versus Justin Mauer. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Palmer.
Thank you, Your Honor. Robert Palmer of the Public Defender's Office on behalf of Justin Mauer. Both Mr. Mauer and I appeared today via Zoom.
And sir, you'll have to unmute yourself. You are Justin Mauer, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a preliminary examination today. Ms. Wilson, how are we proceeding?
I would defer, Your Honor.
Mr. Palmer, how are we proceeding today?
Thank you, Your Honor. I think the court said preliminary examination. Today's the probable cause.
That's correct.
As of now, we are going to leave this matter set for preliminary examination. I will say that there was some confusion as I think everyone believed that Mr. Mauer was still in custody in Eaton County. Obviously, that's turned out to not be the case, but nonetheless, thankfully, Mr. Mauer has appeared today via Zoom. Mr. Mauer and I have had an opportunity to discuss a few matters, but of course, I would like further time to discuss this case with him. We're going to leave the matter set for preliminary examination next week. If I do not anticipate this to happen, but if for some reason this becomes a waiver, I will certainly let Ms. Wilson know so that she can call off witnesses with an appropriate amount of time. I will also say, Judge, that just to be clear, Mr. Mauer has advised me that he has already contacted pretrial services, so he is fully compliant with his bond at this time.
All right. Ms. Wilson, so we're leaving this on for February 2nd, 2024 at 9 a.m. Mr. Mauer, it'll be a live hearing on the 6th floor of City Hall of Lansing. And we'll leave the prelim on for that date. Okay, sir?
Absolutely, sir.
All right. Anything else for the record in 23-03-495, Ms. Wilson?
Nothing for the people, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Palmer?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Mauer, we'll see you next week at this time.
Sounds good. You guys have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. All right, and Ms. Stein, you're from the Attorney General's office?
Good morning, Your Honor. Steen Grand. Yes, I'm from the Attorney General's office.
Right.
I want to charge Aaron.
So Mr. Austin is here. Mr. Feigelson, I'm not sure if he's still with the client. We also have a Mr. Peden here.
Judge, I'm here.
All right. Have you had the opportunity, Mr. Feigelson, to meet with Mr. Peden?
I have, Your Honor. We wish to leave that matter on for an exam.
All right, let's go ahead and put that on the record. Mr. Peden, you can unmute. All right, we're on the record in docket 23-02981. That's People of the State of Michigan versus James Peden. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Mr. Feigelson.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Stephen Feigelson, appearing on behalf of James Peden, who's present by way of video conferencing this morning.
Thank you. And sir, you are James Peden, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can hear me all right, Mr. Peden?
Yes, Your Honor, loud and clear.
Yep. This is the time set for a probable cause conference. Ms. Wilson, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, I believe this will be set for preliminary.
Okay, so we're going to leave this on for prelim on February 2nd, 2024 at 9 a.m. Mr. Peden, that'll be a live in-person hearing, so you should be here on the 6th floor of the City Hall of Lansing. All right, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Feigelson, anything else for 2302981?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Wilson?
Nothing from people.
All right, we're all set. We'll see you, Mr. Peden, next week at 9 o'clock, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You're all set. Mr. Mauer, you're also all set on your case. And then if everybody's ready, we can call the, Ms. Stein, we can call your case. All right, so we're on the record in docket 23-03475. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Aaron Austin. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Stein.
Good morning, Your Honor. Steen Grand, P51260, Assistant Attorney General on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Stephen Feigelson, appearing on behalf of Aaron Austin, who's present by way of video conferencing this morning. You guys,
All right. Thank you, Mr. Feigelson. And sir, you are Aaron Austin, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, and you can hear me all right, Mr. Austin?
Yes, I can.
All right, Ms. Grand, this is the time set for a probable cause conference. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, if I could leave that to Mr. Feigelson, because we have had
Sure,
extensive discussions.
All right,
Yes,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Feigelson?
With regards to the exam, Your Honor, we wish to still have the exam. We just wish to waive our right to have the exam within 21 days. There's a voluminous amount of discovery, and I just received that late yesterday afternoon and haven't had a chance to sift through it and be prepared for an exam next week. I'd ask for some time to be able to do that, Your Honor.
All right.
And
Ms. Grand, how do the people respond?
we have absolutely no objection. There is a significant amount of discovery on this case.
All right. All right, Mr. Feigelson, may I inquire of your client of his waiver of the 21-day rule?
You may, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Austin, you understand that you have a right to a preliminary examination within 21 days of your date of arraignment, that a preliminary examination is a probable cause hearing in which the people of the state of Michigan would have to prove by probable cause evidence that a crime is committed and the identity of the person who committed that crime. You are represented by Attorney Stephen Feigelson today, and he would be present to cross-examine any witnesses or contest any charges brought against you at that prelim, which is scheduled for February 2nd, 2024. It's my understanding it is your wish to waive your right to a prelim only within that 21-day period. You wouldn't be waiving your right to a prelim in general. You'd just be waiving your right to a prelim within 21 days. So Mr. Feigelson would have the opportunity to review any discovery sent to him by the people and could zealously represent you in your defense. Mr. Austin, is it your intent today and your wish to waive your right to a prelim within 21 days?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and people are also waiving their right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, that's right. All right, I find the waiver of the 21-day rule to be knowing, voluntarily, and accurately made. And Mr. Feigelson, about how much time do you think? I know that there's a lot of discovery in some of these cases. What's the time frame that we're looking at?
If I get something end of February, early March, I think that's ample time, Your Honor.
All right, let's go 3 to 4 weeks out.
February 22nd at 8:30.
So we'll set it for February 22nd at 8:30. February 22nd at 8:30 is set for the preliminary examination date. That preliminary examination will be live on the 6th floor of the City Hall of Lansing. Anything else for the record in docket 23-03475, Ms. Grand?
I just want to make sure when you say the 22nd, Thursday, correct?
Yep, that should be February 22nd, should be a Thursday at 8:30.
That's a fine date for the people. Thank you for the clarification.
All right, thank you, Mr. Feigelson.
That works for the defense as well.
All right. All right. We'll see everybody on that date. That's all for the record in 23-03475. Thank you, everybody, for your appearance.
Thank you, Judge. Have a nice
lovely
day.
weekend.
Thank you. Everyone.
Take care, Mr. Austin.
Vashon Williams.
I believe Mr. Goodrich did that over email and really against that for a prelim.
All right, perfect. And then we did with Brittany Staley. And then that leaves us with Mr. Davis at 3.
Yeah, I think so.
And
yeah.
have we got an appearance from Mr. O'Keefe?